So here I am at the theater lobby here in Hartwell. I got my book for Scholars Day, and Scholars Day will officially be starting at 8:30, but the first session isn't until 9, and it seems all the sessions will be either in Hartwell or Edwards for the most part. So I'll probably mostly be walking between those two buildings, which isn't too bad. I'm just going to have to pick which sessions to attend, and I'm going to have a great day. These pastries were made by chefs at Garnishes at the bakery. This one tastes pretty good. Maybe a cherry flavor. This one's chocolate chip. This one's apple. And this is a vanilla Danish. This one's the best. From best to worst, probably the vanilla Danish, then the apple scone, then the chocolate chips. Actually, the chocolate chip scone is at the bottom. It's the vanilla Danish, the red velvet, the apple scone, then the chocolate chip scone, best to worst. But they're all still pretty good.
It's the first of its kind doing it with Bangladesh, so it's night there. Did everybody have the biography of all our speakers and?
Yeah, I was given that.
Okay.
Thank you very much.
Can I take one?
Yes, please. Okay.
And thank you for giving me the evaluation too.
Yeah, I will move this. And I have some cards, so if you have any questions to any of the panels here or in Bangladesh, you can write your questions, your name, and then I'm going to answer those. Okay, so I will pass this. Priya, could I give you this? Okay. So I'm just going to give you an introduction. This is the first of its kind cross-cultural dialogue event. We took this initiative 1 month ago and decided let's try it through Skype. So in a Bangladeshi television studio, they are now linking us live through the live audience. They also have a live audience there. And there are top 3 female leaders in Bangladesh, and we have an amazing panel amidst us. So the mayor of Brockport, Margie Blackman. Ms. Margie Blackman is here. Ms. Dembski, she's the vice president of ESG. And Narmin Zakaria, thank you. She is also a leadership development, director of leadership development in Xerox, and also she's the founder of an organization.
Thank you. Thank you.
So we are going to have we'll throw questions here and there. The Bangladeshi panel will ask questions here, and we will be asking questions to them. And there might be sometimes sound glitch problems, so I will repeat the question twice. So please bear with me, and hopefully things work out for the best. Thanks.
Will you sit? You said introduction.
I will sit. That's better. So what made you interested to come to this session? Just the topic, women in leadership. Yeah, but it's very now emerging everywhere. Now we have so many, there is the number of Senate representative increasing, and even the presidential candidates, so many female candidates are there. And in Bangladesh, I'm just giving a little bit about Bangladesh. We had, for last 25 years or more, the head of Bangladesh government is a woman, and also the leader of the opposition is also a woman. So for last 30 years, Bangladesh has been ruled by women. Although we are a Muslim country, but it's a moderate Muslim country, so that's why we don't. And actually, in the religion, it said that women can lead, and all those elements are man-made, the one you hear in the media. So it will be interesting. You can ask questions to the panel, and the panel in Bangladesh, they are all top leaders in different fields, in IT, in business, in microcredit banking, so all those different areas. So feel free, and I just hope they get the sound connection. The testing went right. There was supposed to be a big storm system going over the city now. So that's why we have the poor connection thing.
It's another nice spring day.
I know, and it's snowing here in
And it
Rockport.
just stopped, so we have the same.
They have rain and we have snow.
I attended this session because I felt it would be the most progressive session, and also I am interested in women and gender studies.
Oh, wonderful. Glad that all of you made, we were worried because in the morning session, I didn't know how many of students will be here.
Is this a high attendance?
Yeah.
Very good, very good.
Yeah, it's pretty good.
So I will ask a question then,
Yeah.
of the panel in Bangladesh. Has the fact that Sheikh Hasina and Khaleda Zia being the prime ministers for the last several years, has that proved inspirational to other women
Mhm,
to become
definitely.
leaders, maybe at the government level, or at the NGO level,
Mhm.
or even in the private sector? It looks like Ms. Sonia Bashir Kabir
Right.
is the managing director of Microsoft Bangladesh, and Rupali
And
Chaudhary
the whole
is-
region, Microsoft, Bangladesh, Myanmar, Laos, Nepal,
And
Bhutan.
Rupali Chaudhary is the managing director of a major paint company.
Mhm.
So has their role proved inspirational, or would you think this will
No,
happen
definitely.
anyway?
I think I will ask a question on to Sonia Bashir because she's doing a lot. She's working on an initiative to promote STEM,
Mhm.
STEM research, like STEM camp for girls in Bangladesh. So she has been doing a lot, and she has also been nominated as the UN peacekeeper of promoting women's education in IT. So that would be an interesting question to ask her also, because she is in the key, she's in the center of all this.
Which brings me to the next question here. As the person who's currently the chair of the Computing Sciences Department, we note that women's representation in computing sciences field is quite pathetic.
So
It's about 12.
you need to ask that question.
Well-
So, because you're a faculty at
Whereas in South Asia, women's representation, I think, in IT is significantly higher. I don't have the exact
Yes, it's
percentage.
more than, it's like
It's
50-50.
probably,
Yeah, more than
I mean,
50
it may be
also.
60-40 or
Yeah.
maybe 40.
Even in the
So-
engineering department, women are 60% and men are 40% in Bangladesh. So it's interesting to see in a
I don't
developing
think
country.
it's quite the same in India. I think it's maybe still majority male, but then,
Okay,
but the number of women is significantly higher.
higher. Mhm.
And I wonder why that is over here.
And it's like education is the key to enhance our life and empower ourselves. And mostly now even the low-income families are investing on education for girls. And there are a lot of incentives by the government also to promote education among girls. So those things definitely attributing.
In particular, IT education. or
IT field,
technology.
yeah, because now here, Bangladesh is identified as, they have like a millennial goals to promote digital, to make Bangladesh digital Bangladesh.
Mhm.
So that's why they are putting a huge amount of budget on IT, science and technology, all those areas. So, and we had
That's
our
true in
satellite
general.
here.
That's
Yeah.
true in general, but the
Right.
fact that there are more women in the field there than over here.
Women are-
So is that, I wonder if it is because of economic reasons that this is seen as a key to economic advancement, participating in technology. is
Yeah.
seen as a key to-
Hey, I'm here. Can you hear me?
Yes, madam, take it.
It's like the Verizon. Can you hear me now?
Within 5 minutes, within three minutes, we are good.
Okay, and yeah, you will start the conversation from your side. আপনাদের সাইড থেকে কথা বলা শুরু করবেন তো।
Yeah.
আচ্ছা, তারপরে ফ্লোরটা আমাকে দিন।
Right, madam.
আচ্ছা,
পাশাপাশি আপনারা যে তিনজন আছেন গেস্ট তাদের একটু চেক করতে যাচ্ছিলাম
ওদের sound.
একটু কথা
Would
বলুন
you just say one hello to them? There's just testing. Hello?
So,
You hear me?
okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Hello.
Okay. Take too loud.
Too louder, a little bit louder. Now I'm in the two language mode. Hello.
So, okay.
Hello.
Next one.
Hello.
Okay, fine, thank you.
With the audience, can anybody ask a question? Can I just check if you can hear the audience?
Testing?
They probably
Hi,
have
madam.
levels up and down, they better repeat.
I will repeat the question.
Can you hear me? I'm testing to see if they can hear the
No,
audience.
they can't.
So that's clear.
Hello, Bangladesh. জি, সালাম আলাইকুম জালিল ভাই, হ্যাঁ শুনতে পাচ্ছি। এই তো, thank you so much. And a warm welcome to all the panelists in Bangladesh. Thank you so much.
Welcome from Bangladesh.
I will be.
I think we'll watch our two panelists after guests sitting here as all are ready to start. We just finished the news in the television channel and now we'll start very soon.
We will start very soon, okay? And if you can start with introducing the panels, and then I will introduce the panel here.
Panel there, sure.
Thank you.
ওনারা যেটা বললেন না আমার মনে হয় শোনা গেছে না একটু আমি বিদ্যুৎ বিরুদ্ধভাবে আলোচনা মোটামুটি যেহেতু ছিল আসতে পারতাম তাহলে রূপকথা একটু ভয়েস কিছু বলে একটু কিছু বলে একটু
Thank you all for being patient with this experiment.
It's okay.
I know you guys are so. So Nagori TV is like the PBS for us.
like the PBS, it's a Bangladeshi PBS network and one of the top rating TV channel in Bangladesh. So they will be airing it, also recording this video and send it through YouTube. So in your in the questionnaire, feedback questionnaire, if you put your email address, then I will make sure once the YouTube video is out, I will send it to all of you. So that.
Can you ask the sound again?
They turned it on there.
They can, because I think they don't want to hear us talking now. And we will, because there is the sound lag thing, so if they are talking, we will let them go with the flow, and while when we are talking, we will have some time in our side. So, but just asking question, there will be a question answer session at the end, so that we can manage it and I can reword it and make things better. So let's see how things happen.
So I just have to write my student email on this form, and I'll get the YouTube video.
Yes.
Thank you.
So at the end of the session, you can fill up the feedback form and then give it back to us. So we can take care of it.
Who is available? Who one night today? Oh, the train is it? And studio is the old pops from the
Okay. So you were, yeah.
counter there.
হ্যাঁ হ্যাঁ এটা আমি লিখেও রেখেছি
আমি expected to get social camera American words number
পরে আমরা ওনাকে
শুরু কে করলে ভালো হয় রূপলিয়ার একটু একটু পুরোটা একটা
জামিল ভাই আপনি যেমন ইন্ট্রোডাকশনটা দিয়ে দিলেন ওনাদের সবাইকে ইন্ট্রোডাকশনটা যে আমাদের মাঝখানে we have this esteemed panel Mr. Sonia Bashir and if we can পরিচয় করানোর পরে you are going to ask the first question and do you have that list of the questions like how did you come into this leadership position or I might
Using studio, stand by.
Does anybody need feedback from them?
I was accidentally given 2 copies because I put the first copy I was given beneath the seat. Do you want it back?
Are you all set now, Bill?
So we're gonna start.
Do you know what's in?
Yes, I can hear you.
So we're gonna start now, okay?
Okay, we are all set. So let us know when we.
Dear viewers, this is Jamil Ahmed welcoming you all to this unique cultural discussion dialogue between Bangladesh and USA. The goal of this program is to understand the role of women in leadership. This program has been made possible with support from Hills for All and the State University of New York, Dr. College of Professors. I'm going to introduce some of the facts sitting here in Bangladesh, and we're very delighted that some of our colleagues and panelists will be joining from USA as well. And I have my colleague Redmond to introduce our previous colleagues. And let me introduce my Bangladesh panelists here. They're very renowned in Bangladesh society. First of all, I would like to start with our panel members here. I start with Ms. Pervin Mahmood FCA, Managing Director of Camping Telecom Trust of our Intelligence Program. And then comes Ms. Sonia Malik Kabir, and Director of Microsoft Bangladesh, within this program. And also Ms. Pervin Mahmood, this is Rupali Choudhury, Managing Director of Bajra Plains Bangladesh Limited, working with this program. At the same time, now we will start by Dr. Redmond to introduce panelists sitting from Leicester County.
Thank you so much, Jamil Bhai. Hello and Assalamu alaikum and good morning from the College of Brockport. I would like to, it's a great pleasure to organize this event, and without any wasting any time, I would like to introduce the panel. To my right, we have the Honorable Mayor of the College of Brockport, Ms. Margay Blackman, the co-founder and the Chief Empowerment Officer. I love this position. Chief Empowerment Officer of Strength Edge, and she was she's also the Leadership Development Director at Xerox. And it's my pleasure to have a young leader who is the Vice President of Brockport College Government, Brockport Student College Student Government, Kaylin Dempsey. Jamil Bhai, I will throw the floor is yours, and you can start asking the question, and then we will come back.
Well, thank you, Dr. Redmond, for connecting our social guest speakers from USA, and we're very happy to interact on some of our issues and concerns regarding women leadership here. And as I mentioned, the main goal of the program will be discussing the role of women in different sectors in Bangladesh and USA, and also try to combine our discussion what the factual realities we're facing in Bangladesh, also something we hear from USA, our guest colleagues. And during our sort of discussion, we were talking with our panelists about that this program is being coordinated. We need to listen to you, how you have been successful in your profession. Also, I see your leaders in different profession, three different sectors, I should say. Starting with Mr. Pervin Mahmood. Sometimes we ask this stereotype regular question that how did you come into this leadership position? because we know that you are a startup consultant, and also you are leading a renowned company in Bangladesh. So if the young generation would like to follow you or want to learn from you, do you really aspire to be a leader in your dialogue student life?
Thank you. Thank you for inviting me to this dialogue. Well, in my childhood, I was always serious in studies and I wanted to be somebody, but I didn't think as a leader, but I wanted to have a career. I was focused. But you know, when I was attending a college, then I got married, and I had breakup studies of almost 7 years. And then I finished my chartered accountancy. I did first part of the chartered accountancy in UK, but after coming back, I came back to Bangladesh and I had a breakup studies. I had my children, 2 children, and then I continued my studies. So it was quite difficult, but I was very focused. And when I finished, I qualified. Just before qualifying chartered accountant, I started my career in track. I had a passion for the development sector, but I always balanced my life because of my children, because being in the development, still going into the field work, debates and all that. I was because I doing and I started my working life at that time in Bangladesh. No child care center or this kind of daycare center.
Places.
Yeah, was not available at that time. So I decided. Then I joined in my professional side and I practiced as a professional accountant and became a partner of a rapid accounting firm. But when my son left for studies abroad, then there was a vacancy. There was an ad in PKSF, it's a Poli Commercial Foundation. It's in the development sector because I had that passion. So I joined there as deputy managing director.
I see.
So, of course,
You studied under
from that, I was in several development. I worked with SIA, I worked with Action International. Even when I was in Action International, I was financial controller. At that time, Action was working in 20 countries, and I was the first female financial controller at that time. So gradually, I have been going up the ladder.
Yeah.
And
you left your solution when you went up.
yeah.
Okay.
So gradually, the decision-making role.
Apparently, coming to you, but supplementary question, like when you thought of, engaging yourself in chartered accountancy, was it your personal choice or you sort of family assistance, influence, or someone you saw or followed in your family that you decided to go to this sector?
When I started chartered, I didn't do much about chartered accountancy, but I had some role model. I saw Mr. Kamil was a chartered accountant at that time, and a few of the seniors one. So I was inspired, and it was my choice. But for those at that time to take of chartered accountancy, from my family, initially they didn't want that I should go for this because usually it was a long course and going to go for audit and all this. During that time, it was a little bit challenging.
Sure.
But later on, I started my studies after my marriage.
Okay, that's more.
And most of my studies are after my marriage, after college.
It's good to know that you took that balance and then you reflected it in your professional life. Let's also hear from our panelists in Senior Leadership career. You're representing Microsoft Bangladesh, although I know you're in charge in other some other countries as well. Could you please also say the same thing, how you have reached to this the peak of your career? Microsoft is very renowned and because brand name, and you're representing that company. So
To me, leadership is not a role, it's more of an attitude where I think of a few things as a leader.
One is you own the team, you take the responsibility and the risks for yourself and the company. And then when there is credit due, you pass it to the team. So a leader's role is more of an attitude. And I've never sought the role. It's kind of evolved as I've grown. And I think one of the things that's very important to me when I think of myself and my career is that I view complacency as a disease. I don't think I like to do the same things, and I challenge myself and take more responsibilities and do what hasn't been done before. And as a woman in technology, especially in Southeast Asia, the challenges are a bit higher because you compete for man's work. But it is a very rewarding experience to taking that risk.
And like when the viewers would be interested to know about your story, how, I mean, you have done successful, etc. What was your sort of intention on sort of role model inspiration in your life?
I finished high school and then I got married, so I moved to Silicon Valley where my husband was. And I think that academia there I have a Bachelor of Science degree and an MBA. But having worked in the Valley, I was exposed to the importance of technology. And that is where my passion came for technology. And I worked for high-tech companies in Silicon Valley. I worked there for about 15 years and then moved to Bangladesh in 2006. And that is how my career is shaped. Because of the influence of Silicon Valley, I kind of brought it back to Bangladesh. And it was a great experience because we have a Digital Bangladesh initiative. So technology is given a lot of importance. And I would also like people to know that technology does not mean it's not rocket science that you have to be a NASA scientist. Technology is an enabler. It can cut to any vertical from education to health to agriculture. Sure. And that's where my passion is, that how can I continue to grow pushing technology in different fields. And my goal has been starting from the Valley and then coming back to Bangladesh.
Okay, that's also very inspiring that you expanded your experiences, learned, and came back to Bangladesh and worked the whole development for the country. This is really inspiring. Thank you. Well, let's also get on Rupali Chaudhary, Managing Director, as I was talking. We see you very much visible in media, newspaper, having partnership with different companies, representing larger, renowned company in Bangladesh. How you have become successful in this sector?
Actually, I was a happy-go-lucky person when I was young. I never have any dream of becoming managing director, working for any corporate world. I just wanted to be economically independent. I studied science, and after doing science, actually at that time, my husband had my friend and my brother, and they said that you can study MBA. So I didn't have any slightest idea about MBA. Then I studied MBA. I think that's the defining moment. And after that, I joined an office and a company called Similarity. I worked there, and every role I wanted to play, I didn't want to fail. So studying MBA, I didn't want to fail. And also in the corporate world, I didn't want to fail. So I just wanted to be successful in the role I was given. So it's a complete evolutionary process, so one step at a time. Yeah, I just graduated a lot, and then one morning I thought that I can do this job better than any other person. And then, I was offered that role, and I've been working at Unlimited for 10 years.
10 years.
Yeah.
I should say a very successful managing director in the Bangladesh sector. We, as I mentioned, see some success story of your career. We'll get back to you with some more areas and issues. Let me connect Dr. Rama Karim.
Yes.
Yes, would you also reflect some of your ideas and issues in the panelists?
Definitely. So the same question as you have heard, like how did you came into this leadership position? I will start with our Honorable Mayor Marty Blackman, and then Norman, and then Tuki.
I came into it somewhat accidentally. I never intended to be mayor. I never took a course in political science. I never intended to be in government. I was at the college at Broadcourt for 30 years as a professor of anthropology. I actually got into government in a sense through our urban trees, which I loved. It was something that I loved, and I ended up chairing the village's tree board. And I spent a lot of time before the village board, seeing government in action, asking for money for trees, that sort of thing. And a position became available on the village board. I was retired, I ran for it, I won, and then a couple of years later, people said I should run for mayor. And so I did, and I ended up in this position sort of at the end, a kind of an encore career in retirement. But it's been a very rewarding one, and I'm in my second term as mayor, and I love the connections. I love the problem solving, and I also put my anthropology background to work in doing the job.
Thank you, Mayor Whiteman. We have like an echo problem here, so when we are talking, if you could turn off your microphone a little bit, then it will be a little bit better for us to hear. So,
Is it possible to turn off?
when we are talking,
Yeah.
okay, thank you. So if you could, I will, because I will,
Continue with the second
Yeah.
one, yeah.
when we are talking, when Ms. Nermin Zakari will talk, yeah, that's good. Okay, Ms. Zakari.
I've been in the corporate world most of my career. And I think always an entrepreneur at heart. And when I was introduced to strengths at Xerox, through the Xerox Leadership Association, I think I never looked back. So I'm enjoying both my full-time career at Xerox and serving also on the Xerox Leadership Association and impacting, working with other Xerox employees, all of us elevating our ability to lead, and enjoying working with individuals and focusing on strengths. And it kind of came by chance.
Right.
Yeah.
Yes, sometimes leadership also, the universe pushes you to the leadership roles. And Ms. Dempsey.
So when I came to college, I wasn't necessarily sure what I was going to do. I'm a political science major, so I took a course on women in government, and it really inspired me to say, why not me? I'm passionate about this. I want to advocate for students, so why not take this next step? And I saw other women in leadership roles across our campus and in our community. So I just decided to run and kind of take the chance, and then I won. So
You're enjoying it.
I am. Yes, sure.
That's great. And I would like to really thank the panel for shedding the light on the path of leadership. It's so important, the journey, how we come into leadership. So thank you for sharing your life experience with us. I will ask the question now to the panel in Bangladesh. Especially, this question is to Ms. Sonia Bashir Kabir. A little bit context to the question. Here, one of the chair of the computer science department, Mr. Shandip, we call him Shandip Da. He's through this question. Was in our college, in the computer science department, we see very few female students, and very few female students in engineering and IT. And I think one of my friend and professor of the computer science department, if she will agree that she only have like one or no female student, none. No female student in computer science. What is your perception? How do you see the environment is in this field in Bangladesh? And is there any barriers? If so, in what ways can we cross this barrier to motivate young women into these leadership positions in the field of IT?
Thank you. That's a very interesting question. So we have the same problem in Bangladesh. I think it's kind of a global phenomenon because women don't see technology as a woman-friendly profession. And there are a few reasons for it. One is a little bit of a fear of the sciences, math and physics and engineering. And what we try to do to address that fear is what I personally try to do is first go to schools and we start talking to the girls, especially when they're in the 6th grade or in the 7th grade, kind of instill the importance of STEM, which is science, technology, engineering, and math, the STEM education, and how it's not really difficult, it's just a state of mind. And the second thing we do is while they're trying to, while they're in high school and they're debating on which major to take, we invite them, and this is for what we call externships, which is 1 day in the life of a tech company CEO or CMO, so a CEO position, and say, come and see 1 day what we do in our lives. And it's been amazing because the response has been that it's really not as bad and as beautiful as they thought it was. So I think a lot of it has to do with exposing them to what that experience is, because they have heard, they're in groups and they don't like to cross the chasm and embrace technology. So if we kind of expose them to what it really is, and it's not as fickle as the perception is, reality is always different. So that exposure helps, eases a little, but it's constant. You have to stay in touch and constantly encourage them, which probably isn't happening enough.
Right.
I
Thank
think
you.
in South Asia, there are more women than in the United States.
But
And since she has been as an
I was
employee,
wondering to ask you, do you think that women are more in the Department of Engineering in the South Asian region or in science field now, or than the North America? Because Ms. Sonia Bashir you have seen the both part of the world. You have been in Silicon Valley for 20 years. You studied here, and now you're in Bangladesh. So do you think that in the comparative analysis, do you have any comparative analysis on this scenario?
To be honest, I don't have enough information to answer that question. I would assume it is the same. Yeah, I don't have information to answer.
Okay, thank you. I will move to the next question, if Jamil Bhai, if it's okay for you. Yeah, okay.
Short break. And we'll be coming back to you after a very short break. And definitely we'll continue with your question and some of our ideas as well.
Sure, thank you.
Is there a question?
How long is that, how short is the break?
Very short break, I think 2 to 3 minutes.
2 to 3 minutes, okay. We're going to an ad break.
Okay, short break.
See you soon.
It's just a formality to edit the program. That's it.
Okay, thank you so much. And I just want to say thank you to the president of the College of Brockford for being here. Thank you.
I get put it now.
Yeah, but our next session is finished.
Okay. We're going to go for a short break, and we're coming back after the break. Please stay with us.
Oh.
This is for the broadcast. If he has to do these things, they're looking at it from a broadcast.
Yeah. So if you have any questions, you can write it down and send it to me with your name, and then I'm going to answer.
Do I have any question slips?
আচ্ছা পিছনে কি স্টুডেন্ট বসে না
Well, they were.
এই চারজনের সামনে স্টুডেন্ট বসা আচ্ছা আচ্ছা
আপনার শুনতে পাচ্ছেন?
জি, আমরা ক্লিয়ার।
জি, আপনি যখন কথা বলেন তখন ওই যে হাতের ট্যাপটা যদি টেবিলে করেন সো একটা পাম্প ট্যাপটা আসে।
ও আচ্ছা।
পাম্প করে ভালো।
ওকে, ঠিক আছে। আর আমরা যখন কথা বলবো তখন ওই যে একোটা যাতে ওই যে আপনারা বন্ধ রাখছেন ওইভাবে করলে তখন ভালো হচ্ছে।
হ্যাঁ হ্যাঁ চল চল
আচ্ছা, থ্যাংক ইউ।
ওকে, স্যার আবার শুরু করছি।
Welcome back to this women in leadership in Bangladesh and let's say, you know that we have a three-member panel here in Bangladesh, and also we have some colleagues and friends from USA as well. Our co-presenter panelist, Dr. Raghunath Karim, want to ask another question. Could you kindly ask this question, this panelist?
Sure, thank you, Jamal Bhai. I was wondering to ask one question to the panel. It is open to anybody in the panel there. And then Jamil Bhai, you can ask another question to our panel. Growing up in a patriarchal society for many Bangladeshi women, do you think that there are some stereotypes or barriers that can demotivate many young girls to be in this leadership positions? Are there, or did you experience any stereotypes or any kind of barrier taking the path to leadership?
Yeah.
If we consider middle class, urban middle class, I think this stereotypes are disappearing, and parents are understanding the power of empowerment, and basically women, they want to work, and actually there is enabling environment also. So if we look at the government sector also, so there, the whole fabric of the environment, they are coming from the village. So the stereotypes, because of the economic pressure, and the parents are actually encouraging. So I see there are stereotypes, but that's not as prevalent as it was before. So we see, I think, light at the end of the tunnel.
Okay. Hope, as you mentioned.
Yes, and girls are working in different area. I mean, even in the media, they are working at 10 o'clock.
Yeah.
So when we started completely at 9 o'clock, 24 hours, and they're traveling at night. So when we started, it was something.
Sure. And so
I also add a comment that yes, I definitely agree with Rupalapa. We've seen that women are coming into the workforce. But there's one little element that I see still that needs to change, is that even if you're financially independent or if you have a career or a job, your older brother is responsible for you, for the sister, the father is responsible, you take care. So that little shielding needs to also go away to let the woman or the girl fly fully. I think there's a vision. So they are given the freedom to go and work, but still we feel families that the father is responsible for the mother, or the brother is responsible for the wife. That little bit of holding back, that is the last thing that we need to let go.
I would say this. Now, parents and families and individuals are also willing to move forward with a career because of necessity, and also because everyone wants to have her own identity. But the respect and the in the workplace, or sometimes I feel this showing, but still is there sometimes a mindset. Co-workers to accept females in all the roles, especially sometimes, especially maybe like traveling time or going out of the city. Sometimes they're confident that women can do that part well. But these challenges now, women are taking the challenges. So it's not as pronounced as before, but still it can.
Yeah. I see some interest from our audience also. They would like to ask questions to the Bangladesh panel for USA. Anyone is interested to join here? Would you please say your name and ask questions?
Hi, I'm Mahmuda Manan. So I question PSN. My question is, do women leaders need to master more skills than their male counterparts?
So the question is,
Women leaders should have more skills than men counterparts. So they can be ready for the responsible positions, which also the skill development.
So I'm asking this question, do women leaders need to master more skills than the male counterpart to rise to those higher level leadership positions? So what is, any thoughts?
I don't have any scientific information on this, but my gut level reaction would be yes. I mean, I think that oftentimes, so we saw it in the last presidential election in the United States, that it was often said that women are judged, held to a higher standard. There are more judgments that are made about them, made about things that you may not necessarily judge men about, the way they dress and this sort of thing. So, yeah, you may take that as just kind of an internalized dictum that, and I think sometimes women do hold themselves to a higher standard because of that.
All right. And Katie, do you have any?
Well, just through my experience in the classes I've taken, we've learned that women have this, in politics, specifically in the United States, women paint this picture of an ideal candidate in their head, and they don't see themselves as that, and men might not necessarily do the same thing. So sometimes it is public perception that holds women back, but also they hold themselves back in that they think they have to be more. And women are asked less if they're interested in running, or if they see themselves in these positions. So I think it's really important for us to target those women that we see are really powerful and hold those skills and encourage them to take these roles.
Mm-hmm. And Narmin, what do you see, because you're in the field of leadership development, what is that?
So women are, in general, we won't tout ourselves as much as men. The studies show that men will be more open about his accomplishments. We're a little bit more quiet. I think for us, in general, across the board, just be an effective leader. Know who you are. Know your strengths. Know, and then surround yourself with people who fill the gaps that you don't have, and take care of the needs of the people that follow. Be an effective leader. That in and of itself will elevate you as an effective leader and capable of providing for and leading a group.
Okay. I think thank you for your response and also from the audience. I see you also showing the tough questions.
I have a question. Bangladeshi panelist. So I just wanted to know: is there any competition between men and women in case of leadership?
Is there any competition in management?
With leadership.
To reach in the leadership position?
Or they are doing on their own?
Or is happening smoothly? Any competition you mean?
Yes.
Okay.
Confidence is the name of it. It's open position. So organization normally follows the pyramidal structure. So there is debate is going to be one. So for that position there will be many candidates. So everybody, irrespective of the gender, she or he has to get the rest.
Okay.
So that's always a competition. That's the name of the game.
Very short, specific response. Another one, do you want to?
This is Yashi from Euroscope. So Euroscope is working for the, basically we're working for developing the society. So I am already, my question is to the Honorable Mayor from the USA. So what do you think? Is there any scope to develop our country's overall in the deposition, like they are stars. These three person from Bangladesh, they are stars. But they are in our urban area. There are many other persons, they are not privileged like them. So is there any way to do any kinds of workshop, any kinds of programs to develop the rural from the rural area people and working with the US government collaboration.
Also studied ad with Honorable Mayor. I was showing, in trying to show my face because it was after media community I got a chance to visit USA in 2008 and 2012. Also, I interacted during election time. So, Honorable Borough, what is your, before you respond to this question, after I'm getting to one, what is your view on, America's and American openness to women in leadership positions? And also, sometimes we see some posts in media whether USA is ready for a female president in next election.
Okay.
If I might say something here, that was my question.
Right.
I have said that in South Asia, where Bangladesh is, and where India is from, women have been prime ministers, presidents,
So,
speakers of parliament.
I'm going to restate this. So to make, because the sound sometimes is a little bit unclear. In Bangladesh, we had prime minister and president, and also in India and South Asian region, we had female prime minister and president. So what do you think? America, as USA, is now ready to embrace a female leader in the 2020 election?
Well, we almost got one last time. So, I think we were ready for it in 2016. I think, certainly yes. And if you look at what happened in the midterm elections in the United States, we now have a record number of women in Congress and younger women as well. So I think that's a really important, sign of what's coming. It's taken a long time, but yes, I think we're ready.
And
go ahead. Was it joint collaboration possible in terms of
leadership development?
Bangladesh, USA. There's another question.
Is there a possibility, like there is a lot to learn from South Asian women from South Asia on leadership, and also South Asia can learn a lot from leadership skills from USA. Do you see, like in the future, could there be any kind of like collaborative leadership exchange program to promote leadership all across the world? We are now global citizens, so it's not just women in USA or women in Bangladesh, but women all across the world working together to fix each other's crap.
I think that would be a wonderful next step. I was just saying before that that one of the things that I went to the conference of New York mayors, which I go to every year, and for the first time they had a forum on encouraging how to get young women into leadership positions in state and local government. I'm also going to something in the city of Rochester in April 25th called First Amendment, First Vote, and it's about encouraging high school young women to get into leadership positions. So it seems like it's happening, and an obvious next step would be to do something cross-culturally, globally with this effort, and look to where the successes are in other countries like Bangladesh.
Definitely. So I will just take the floor and ask a question to the Bangladeshi panel now. Is there any initiative of leadership development in your organizations, the organizations you are leading? So do you take any initiative or mentorship for young women to encourage them in leadership?
Thank you. I'm a chartered accountant, and I qualified for the Institute of Chartered Accountants of Bangladesh. And initially, from the ICBA or Institute, after 35 years, was female chartered accountant qualified, and I was the second one. And I became the first female president in 2011. And for a long time, we had only 4 female chartered accountants. But presently, there are many, our number has crossed is 120. And many women study now chartered accountancy. And we have a women leadership committee there. And we are encouraging. And also previously for our institute was we had some projects, and we are inspiring the students. They're going to universities, and even we have a mentoring program also from our committee, through our committee, and also in South Asian Federation well, I mean, in the SAARC countries, there's a Succession Federation of Accountants. From SAPA also we have Women Leadership Committee. So there also, presently I am the vice chair. So many initiatives and inspiring roles are happening.
I think we should go to mention about regarding Women in Leadership Development Program.
Yes, if it's specific to where I work, in my organization, Microsoft, we have mentorship programs, we have initiatives and classes like Eat Like a Woman, and they teach you how to approach leadership, and we do a lot of that.
Yeah, you know, our organization also do have programs. Leadership of all, not specifically only for women,
Okay.
but women are actually they are included.
So, this is a human resource development.
Yeah, this is human resource development, and we also have kind of mentorship program. But the reality is that in our country, what we have seen after they become mom, and that's the actually defining moment with they're going to stick to the career or they do their career. So yeah, that so this is where we are working on.
Okay.
So this is one important area I think each and every organization must work on.
Okay, very interesting interactive dialogue we are having with USA and Bangladesh panelists, and I'm going to take another short break, and ladies and gentlemen, we will be coming back to this program after this short break. You can stay with us.
Thank you. So during this short break, any questions the audience would like to ask, if you could send me.
My question, we want to narrow down to pay equity.
Oh,
So
pay
it's
equity.
Yeah, because it's a long question.
Right.
So I think we can, and they've talked about some of the conditions for women.
So pay equity.
Yeah.
I think, yes, pay equity, right?
That's fine.
That's done.
It's
Pay
an
equity, right.
awfully long question, you can just boil it down.
Yeah, this is so good. What is the work experience for women
Right,
in
in the STEM field.
in STEM
What's
fields?
a vibrant life, specifically looking at.
Do they have equal opportunities to get promoted? Okay.
Is there a tradition which is actively involved
And after these are six one of It's an interesting experience going to the break and everything. So, and another question is, what is your biggest challenge in leadership? Okay, shh. Audience, we are going to the studio now, in the recording. Okay.
Yeah, practical class. Welcome back to this program. On the Women Leadership, we are having a dialogue on the panelists sitting here and also some of our total panelists sitting from USA as well. At this point, I hand over this shift or microphone or responsibility to Dr. Renuma. I think she collected some questions and concerns from the audience students from your side. Could you please mention?
Sure. I got some interesting questions from our esteemed audience as well. One of the questions from our very loving coach Jim Johnson. He is also here at the program. Our camera can probably we cannot show him right here. But Coach Jim Johnson asked this question to everybody who is open to this, open to answer it. What is your biggest challenge in the leadership position? what challenges are you experiencing in the positions you are in? So,
Question to the Bangladeshi panelists.
So after the Bangladesh panel, then we will come to the US panel to ask this same question.
Barriers to practical realities you faced in your lifestyle or when you reached this position?
From my work, I think the biggest challenge for leadership in the tech industry is being a content expert in addition to being a leader. Because as we are progressing more and more, it always helps to understand the technology industry and what makes it, as opposed to understanding how to be a leader.
Yeah. So you need to know the content and process at the same time.
Right, so you need to know technologies. So we see more and more leaders now in the tech industry are
Very
technical.
Very focused response. In fact, the reality is
This is on the right capability, and you have to create also as a leader the atmosphere like the continuous leadership delegation of to perform to deliver like what is expected. And also to adapt to innovations also with the changes.
So for the delegation of authority, you need to have skilled resources within the state. Okay. But
The challenge for the leader at the top is always that it's a solitary position. Although you are working with a team, so you have some visions, and you want that visions to be implemented at grassroots level. So sometimes you think, whether whatever your visions are, whatever your dreams are, whether that is actually translated at the grassroots level, whether there is a gap. So it's still on the time, very scary position where you climb up the ladder, whether whatever you are saying, each and every employee do the same thing. So that's the biggest challenge for every leader. It's not a general situation.
no, it is because they constant followers, they follow the leader a lot, or they would like to be himself or herself, or what is it nowadays?
Human beings are human beings, no matter how much training we give them. So they would like to have their own, identities, own thoughts, own aspirations. So some people are self-motivated.
Okay.
So it's not really, leaderships are not tested like exams, So attitude sometimes, it is shown, it is very difficult to know everybody's attitude, it's not like an acid test. So sometimes you go through the different kind of process. So we do private survey, our company, to understand that, everybody is equally treated in terms of, from the boss, from the superior, from the all. So this is continuous development, there is no finality.
Some reflection you heard, Dr. Redma, from the Bangladesh team in response to your question.
Yeah.
Do you please add some of your views from it as well?
Yeah. So my question, the same question is to Ms. Nermin Zafari. So what do you see the leadership is?
Well, I think one of a huge challenge is lack of engagement.
Lack of engagement.
And we spend a lot of time focusing on in our performance reviews, weaknesses and lessons learned and what we haven't done yet. When we focus on the weakness, we lose confidence. When we focus on strengths, engagement increases. I think that's why I became so passionate about the subject of strengths building instead of weakness fixing. So meeting the needs of our the people in our groups, on our teams, and focusing on what's working well, and looking to the future on how to increase.
Right. And I agree with Ms. Nermeen when she says that we are focusing sometimes too much on the weaknesses. Even as a student, I think you feel that it's the weaknesses that we focus on instead of focusing on where you did good. So if you focus on your strengths slowly, then you start to become better. And also mistakes. Mistakes should be learning opportunities. So every leaders, I think all of you in Bangladesh and all of the leaders here have experienced failure and doing mistakes. But those are the things that should be encouraged. no, but sometime in our culture and also, I don't know, probably in US culture also, challenges, one of the challenges, mistakes are seen as your weakness and you cannot move forward. So along that line, Katie, any challenges that you are facing?
So I'm in a unique experience where I am 20 years old and managing a company with over 50 employees and over $1 million budget. That's kind of intimidating prospect. I've never done this before, so my challenge is definitely gaining that life experience to run this type of nonprofit organization that I found myself in. So I'm learning every day, and it's always a challenge, but it's an exciting challenge for sure.
Okay.
I think that there are lots of challenges, and I so agree about the learning from one's mistakes, but also being able to admit those mistakes and to admit when you failed and to let others know that you're using it as a learning opportunity. Speaking strictly from being a mayor in local government, I think some of the biggest challenges are things that you have to live with every day, because when you're a mayor of a village like Brockport, it's this is where everybody, same place where they get up in the morning, they come home to, and it's all the little things that matter to people in the village, and it's all these little challenges that just sort of add up and add up, and you want to make life better for the people in your village, but you're always having to deal with feral cats and trees being cut down and you know, things like this, and it's often the most inconsequential sort of little things that cause the most chaos, that make people the most unhappy. So I think, you know, communication is a huge challenge that everybody needs to rise to, and communicating with people in the village about, you know, about what's going on, listening to people, I think is really important, and doing it not only efficiently and effectively, but doing it in good time, responding to people. That's always a challenge. So.
And segueing to this point, I was wondering, I probably, all of us heard the news of the brutal shooting in New Zealand, and we also saw a female leader, the Prime Minister of New Zealand, Ms. Ardern, how she dealt with it. It was compassion, being at their side, and emotional intelligence is one thing that there are researchers that showed that women are more emotionally intelligent than men. So do you think the panel in Bangladesh, that our compassion, our emotional intelligence can be strength to promote more female leaders in the field of leadership positions? Do you think that it's a weakness that we are compassionate, or can it be transformed into strength?
Okay, I think we will take responses from three of the panelists. I've been told that it's going to be the closing remarks as well. So before we go to the panel for closing remarks, let me connect one of our audience with a question and comments here. Would you please introduce yourself?
So my question is to both of the panel, Bangladesh and
Can you talk a bit loudly?
So my question is to both of the panelists, the Bangladesh and US. So nowadays we can see that there are so many programs about leadership, specifically women leadership, but when we are talking about women leadership, we were not trying to go out of home in our Bangladeshi culture as well as other culture, we can see that. So don't you think there should be some mentoring programs for the parents too, so that they can for us to go out and so that we can work for the people?
Okay. Thank you. I think Apple can be responsible. And summarize.
Actually, during as when I was there from the our Institute of Studies Councils of Bangladesh, when we were trying to increase the number of students and also who were dropped to bring them again back to the studies to finish. In fact, we used to do some workshops with the firms that they are working, their principals, and also we used to meet the parents too. They used to also come and we used to share with them about their how they should treat their girls, or allow them to go to their clients or go outside for their audit and all this. So it helped. And I think the parents also sometimes they need.
So we will do a program.
The time we were talking is 50 years back. But over the years now, it's not the same. It's the mindset or sometimes too much of protectiveness.
Thank you, Buzz.
Yeah, two comments. Firstly, one is to answer the question the lady asked. I definitely think this goes back to the point I made earlier that parents and older siblings, especially male siblings, need a little bit of mentoring to let the women, be more independent than they are, give them a bit more freedom. And second,
mindset.
yes, mindset, they're capable and they should be led free. And to answer Dr. Numa's question, compassion definitely is a part of emotional intelligence, but we're seeing that more and more learned behavior of leaders is coming on the word empathy, and that is emphasized globally for men and women. And I agree with you. I think as women, our instinctive nature is to have compassion, which we as measures we would do a bit better. But men are catching up because they're learning a lot about empathy and they're being trained on how to deal with the situations.
Yes, the parental problems are there in terms of actually telling them to let go of their daughters. But I think in this case, the state has to also perform in terms of providing the security on the roads. And with the metros, the normal transportation and the mass transportation is taking up. So the people, like the parents, are going to feel more comfortable.
Okay.
So that is going to be one. And mentally is also all the time required. And about the women as a leader, I think yes, as Sonia said, we are actually compassionate. And it is natural we are, and we discuss more about the problem with all the points, and then we come to a consensus. So we are always there to discuss, and in terms of communications also we are better. So I think men are also acting now. So we can actually utilize this skill to become a better leader. And I'd like to tell young girls that don't give up. Before it is become actually the point that you should give up. So don't give up, try hard, and work hard, be relevant.
An important point to mention, opening up and taking up the challenge with the development as well. In future, whatever development comes up, we can be much more.
Yes.
Anyone, we somehow wrapped up our discussion here.
Right.
Renuma, would you also
I would
wrap up your
definitely. I would quickly wrap up by asking the panel here. I would like to thank the audience. I wish our camera could also move and show your beautiful faces. But we had to do with some shortcomings. But thank you, Nagarik TV, and thank you, the amazing panel in Bangladesh, for initiating this discussion. And I would like to conclude by asking everybody, I can start with the panel here, any advice to young women who are aspiring to be future leaders? So in few words, could you give some advice?
Be yourself. Know who you are. Don't compare yourself to other people. Own the best of who you are, and show up. And I know your strengths, live up to them, and
I would add to that, seek support from other people, from mentors, from your peers. It's so important to have people that support you and believe in you, in addition to believing in yourself.
Right, and I think there is this word like make yourself lighter so that you can be lifted. So you have to master the skills to be lifted by your peers. So it's easier. And I think all of you, those who are in the leadership position, you have the likability factor and you have mastered those skills to lift you up. So Katie, what is your take on that?
I just say go for it. If you're passionate about something, work hard, obviously, put your all into it, but go for it. There's really nothing holding you down.
All right? Thank you.
I would also like to thank our panel sitting here, Dr. Rehma and other team members. And we are very delighted to exchange the views and data with you today. And also at the same time, I would like to thank our panel foundation, the resourceful panel. Thank you very much. And also to thank our audience. Your viewers, we would like to close the program here today. And as I mentioned earlier, this program has been made possible with support from Heroes for All and State University of New York College of Brockton. Thank you very much and good luck.
Thank you. Thank you. I wish I had more time to ask this question.
We'll just have to do this again.
Again, and now we have that channel of communication, so we know where to work on those questions. But thank you so much for being here. And I will be sent, please leave your email address so we can send you those YouTube videos by email. But if you have, the panel of leaders are here, so if you have any questions, please feel free to ask. Go ahead.
That was my question. Could the questions be asked to the panel that's here? Because
Yes.
this is my first time seeing the mayor of Rockport. Well, I know other women in leadership. So my question is up there, though. I wrote it down. It's long.
Guys, so I'll let them introduce themselves. First up, we have Angelica Whitehorn.
So I am a senior here at Rockport. My major is English and Gender Studies. I went on the Rockport Oxford program in 2017, and then I went to Paris, France, ago in 2018. I chose to study abroad just because I was in the world, and I knew that coming to college was a great opportunity to do so. And then study abroad gave me a kind of pathway to get to where I want to go.
All right, so next we have Ethan Lehman.
Hi, I'm Ethan, and I'm an international studies and political science major. As I mentioned, the first time I studied abroad was my freshman year. The second semester I went to the University of Roehampton in London. And then last spring I was in the University of Sydney in Australia. And I absolutely love both programs. Both of them offered something different for me. And yeah, I'm just going to encourage you guys to study abroad too.
All right, next we have Christopher Fisher.
Well, guys, my name's Chris. I'm a senior here. I studied business administration. And during the winter session of 2018, I went on a 2-week faculty-led program to Italy and Greece. So we went all throughout the Mediterranean. And I can just say it was the most incredible experience of my entire life. And what kind of encouraged me to do so was, like, even before coming to college, I kind of made it a goal to study abroad. Like, during acceptance student day, I went to the study abroad presentation. It was pretty cool because, like, last Saturday, I was the one presenting. So I was literally sitting in the seats I was, like, almost 4 years ago. So it's an incredible experience, and I'm here to talk about why people should study abroad.
Next we have Abby Fox.
I'm Abby. I am a sophomore, and I'm a dance major. I studied abroad at the University of Roehampton last spring. And I also, like, just as Chris said, I also wanted to come to Rockport. Seeing my places that Rockport has was a big factor why I came here, and as well as the dance program, and being able to go study abroad in London and be able to see English dance there just changed my life and big compliment why people should study abroad.
And this is one of our international students, Hugo.
Hi, I'm Hugo. I'm from Japan, and I was at Japanese University, and I came here as an exchange student, and I transferred to the Rockport, and I'm so far now, and I'm a communication major and a recreation major.
All right, perfect. We're missing just one other international student. He's actually from England, the University of Portsmouth. He's actually away right now, back home at a wedding, so we do miss him. But we're going to get started with this presentation. So we just wanted to give you a quick overview before we do that panel with our global ambassadors. So we do have over 100 different programs on all 7 continents. south is Antarctica, one of our most popular programs that runs every winter. And then the furthest north is actually our Norway program, which is one of our exchanges. So you can go abroad many different ways during the semester or during the short-term programs. We have 5 different types of programs. We have internships. You can do these during the semester or during the summer. We have faculty-led programs that run during the summer and the winter session. We have exchanges, like I said, Andrew is from the University of Portsmouth. That's one of our exchange programs. So he came here and we send students there. And then you can also just study abroad at a university like Hugo is doing. We have service learning programs. So one of our most popular programs is the Vietnam program that runs every winter. They get to go help out in the orphanages and stuff like that. So that actually runs during the semester, the winter, and the summer. And then we have language immersion programs. So if you wanted to enhance your language in Spanish or French or Italian, you can do so. So these are just a few of the study abroad myths. One of those is that you're not able to graduate on time. As you saw from 2 of our students here, they actually studied abroad their 2nd semester in their freshman year. So that's really awesome. They decided that the minute they came to Brockport, they wanted to go and skip the pond and go over to Roehampton. But you can also study abroad up to a year after you graduate, which is something that a lot of our students might want to think about if they do maybe athletic programs and things that take up their time during the semester. Another myth is that you can't speak another language. As we just talked about, we do have language immersion programs that could help you with that, or we do have plenty of programs that just speak English, and you're able to just go there, and it's basically like studying abroad at Brockport. And then the third myth is that you can't afford it. We do have several options for financing a study abroad program. We offer scholarships through our office and through the Brockport office. We do also suggest applying for national scholarships as well. We offer financial aid through Brockport. Even if you do not have a financial aid package, you can speak with them about additional loans and funding. Personal funding, this is just one of my stories. The first time I studied abroad, I made a GoFundMe. I didn't think anybody was going to give me any money, but it was right around kind of like my birthday time and stuff like that, and I actually got some money that funded my trip, and I was able to go abroad to different places that weren't even on my program. And then we have study abroad fairs. So in the fall and in the spring, we do have a raffle that's $1,000 for a semester program or $500 for a summer winter program. So we're going to talk a little bit more about the application process later, but this is just how you apply. It's really easy. All of our application materials are through our website. So some programs have different materials, but all of it will be through our website. But we are located on the 2nd floor of Daly Hall. Monday through Friday, 9 to 5, we're open and we're able to answer your questions. These VAs would be the first face that you would see when you come into the office. So if you have any questions, we also have an inquiry sheet if you would like to sign up to get more information. So we are going to get started with asking our GAs a few questions. These are just a few pictures from our students that have studied abroad. Okay, so our first question is for Chris. Do you feel that study abroad is something that every student should take part in? Why or why not?
Well, first to say that we have so many different programs that are literally for like almost every single student out there. Like, if you don't want to go for too long, you don't want to go like during the school year, we have a tax-led program for you. If you want to go for the entire semester, we have the exchange, we have the university. You want to go for maybe not too long, maybe not during the school year, we have an internship for you. Maybe you don't want to be in the classroom, you don't want to be like, you want something like really hands-on, you have the service learning program for you. So we have all these opportunities and just all over the world. This is so many like fantastic opportunities for students to do. And kind of one thing I hear from a lot of students, their biggest regret from college is not studying abroad. And personally, that is something I did not want to like hold against myself, is to have that regret. And also, like as Amy mentioned with financial aid, that's like a huge reason why many people go abroad. However, this college and this financial aid office and this office period does such an amazing job of helping students where we find funding, with aid, like helping them pay for the trips. This school honestly does a really good job with that, and that's definitely the biggest reason why. And to answer your question, 100% absolutely. I think almost everyone should experience that. It's something that you can't really talk about like in like an encyclopedia or something. You have to go abroad and you have to experience it yourself. And once you do, I'll tell you right now, you're not going to regret it. You're going to talk about it literally for the rest of your life.
All right, thank you, Chris. So our next question is for Angelica. In your opinion, what was the hardest thing about studying abroad? What did you do to help solve this problem?
Yeah, so as amazing as study abroad is, of course, there's challenges in everything that you do. Everything goes localized all of the time, even though a lot of it is. And so you're going to run into like challenges, struggles. Some of my biggest were feeling homesick and like, you know, you see things, especially through social media, like your friends are out at the party and you want to be there, or like someone's graduated and something like looks so fun at home and you miss these people. But I think that if you really immerse yourself in the culture around you and like make new friendships and new connections, you really like you'll miss your family and friends at home, but then you'll be gaining so much abroad and like reforming such new amazing connections that you can work through it. And then I think that just getting yourself out there and taking yourself out of like your little comfort zone, you learn so much that like even though you miss those people, you're gonna be happy anyway.
All right, our next question is for Hugo. What was the most fun experience that you had while studying abroad or at Rockford?
I'm volunteer for the International Student Orientation every semester. This is for the new international student coming to the Rockford. And I have so much fun experience there, and also I have so many friends from all over the world. And last fall semester, in the fall break, I went to the Toronto with my international friend. It is actually new for me because I went there with one Germany and two are from Denmark and two from the England and two from America. And me Japanese. This is kind of like a European and Asian. So in the immigrant, they say like, you guys are so weird. Where are you guys from? And we're from the local college. We're international. And they say, that's cool, yeah. And they say like an international experience is cool for ours. And also like one another interesting thing is like communicating with each other in English. Of course, England and American people are speaking English as a native languages, but others speaking as a second language. But we could communicate with each other. This is, and also I could communicate with English with them. This is like I cannot experience that when I first came to the United States. So that is why this is the most fun experience.
So our fourth question is for Ethan. What was the most adventurous thing you did while abroad?
So for my first program, while I was in London, I was actually fortunate enough to have my classes and my studies done before I could go. So I actually studied there. But I planned a trip actually with the Norwegian travel agency, which I found crazy online. It's kind of funny though because everyone I flew from London to Norway, and then from Norway to Cyprus for a week, and then back into Norway. And everyone I was on a trip with was speaking Scandinavian languages. But it was an amazing time, like just going, like they had a reception one day, and everyone was singing ABBA. I didn't know a word, but like they took me to one of their own. And I'd say one of that trip was just an amazing experience, seeing the blue water in the Mediterranean. I never even knew anything about the country of Cyprus before I went there. Just to be able to learn all that was so amazing. And during my second study abroad trip, this is kind of a polar opposite, but I took a weekend excursion during the second week. So it was February in Australia. It was super warm, and I went 2 hours north of Sydney to this beach area, and they actually had sand dunes there, so I was able to go sandboarding. It was something I wanted to do my whole entire life. And then that night we actually stayed in like a hut on the beach. There were no doors or anything, and we had bunk beds, just like a random group of people that I was staying with. But seeing like the marsupials and the spiders, it's definitely not for everyone, but I loved it being an outdoorsy person. That was one of the coolest things I've ever seen.
Thank you. So our fifth question is for Abby. If you could go back for another abroad experience, would you choose the same place? If not, where would you go?
I'm actually planning on going to study abroad again. I'm actually planning on going to Australia, not because I would love to go back to London, but I think because of how big this program is and how it can go anywhere, I want to spend my college experience as going to
this kind of took me a while to think about, and this morning, this literally just popped in my head, and it was literally one of the, I was like, how did I forget this? This is like one of the funniest things I ever had. So, kind of story time a little bit. So, on our program, we had like a ferry that went from Italy to Greece, like across the Ionian Sea, which is part of the Mediterranean. And the ferry literally, like we had to wake up like 4 o'clock in the morning that morning, so like we were all exhausted. We had to drive a very long way to our next hotel. We didn't have any tours that day, so we just had the opportunity to kind of relax a little bit. So then later that night, we ate dinner in the hotel, and then instead of going out because it was raining, I believe the town name is Kalambaka, the really high cliffs. And we were like sitting by the fireplace, and then all of a sudden our faculty leader, Dr. Marchadzi, I don't know if any of you know him, fantastic professor, he comes out and he decides to do an imitation of our tour guide, whose name is Victoria. Now let me tell you a little bit about Victoria. She is just a super energetic, was super nice, and kind of a little, maybe over energetic sometimes. Like she like talks her head off, I guess, like on the bus, like going between like places. And like she wears just like fedora, she wears a fur coat, she wears a scarf. So Dr. Chadsey comes in the middle of the lounge, wearing a fedora, wearing a fur coat, wearing a scarf, and I was just not expecting this. And he just does like this 10-minute long, this like impersonation of her, and like it was just like the funniest thing I've really ever seen in my life. I don't know, maybe Amy.
I can definitely attest to that. Gloria is one of the most like eccentric people that you could ever meet, and she's just the best tour guide. She was with EF Tours, and you could just tell that she was doing it forever, and she's gonna probably do that for the rest of her life, and she's amazing at it. So our next question is for Angelica. How has your abroad experience helped you?
My abroad experience helped me in so many ways. I definitely had never been on a plane or traveled really before I went abroad. So just giving me that independence and like the excitement of like I could go anywhere. And I hadn't like had that before. I didn't know international traveling, or I didn't know like really how to get abroad. So it's a great opportunity like when you haven't gone abroad, but you have a support system. You have all like the GAs and the advisors who are all there to support you if you need anything. And it's a great way to like kind of bridge that gap between like staying in your home space, your comfort space, and then going out there and realizing that like any country you want to go to, like you can go to to get there. And I also think that like living abroad in France and like helping me speak the language more than I had ever spoken it in the classroom, and like really understanding that culture and being in the culture and like immersing yourself in it is like an experience that you never had, like you cannot have if you're in the same place for your whole life. And I think coming back after that, like I gained a lot of confidence, and now that I can like speak about it, and I always speak about it in every like interview I have, like my time abroad, and even like in so many of my just like interpersonal connections, like through people that I met abroad and I have friends abroad, and so it's like really a life-changing experience.
So our next question is for Hugo. It's phrased a little bit differently, but he's gonna speak about did your program require you to speak a foreign language? If so, which one, and discuss your level of knowledge?
My Japanese university get the replacement task to classify the student to like which level of English to the, and my English level was able to come to the college class after the second term of the study abroad, and so that's why I'm here. But academic English and speaking English are totally different. So when I first arrived to the Detroit, I couldn't understand what cashier saying when I tried to buy some food at the airport. And actually, like after the airport, I was also on the aircraft to come into Rochester, but I also couldn't understand what the cabin crew said. So, and also like when I come to the school and everything, I couldn't understand what people saying. So, for me, I have a best friend here, so I got a best friend here, and he helped me all the time. So that like also writing the research paper or something, also like in the shop, try to understand what people think, because everyone has an accent. Japanese people have a Japanese accent, Chinese people have a Chinese accent. So that is why I couldn't understand like what people say. But having a like communication experience with many people as possible, and also like touching the diversity, because I cannot understand the British accent still now. But I'm trying to listening and trying to speaking is the most like helpful for me to growing up my English skills.
I'm just going to do a quick plug really quick. We have the International Festival tomorrow night from 4:30 to 7 o'clock, and Hugo is one of our MCs. So if you want to hear him speak English a ton more, you can come tomorrow. So our next question is for Ethan. What advice would you give a student looking to study abroad, and what do you wish you knew then, what you know now?
So I think one of the things that's really important is to be outgoing. Like as a freshman in college, I always studied that to be outgoing and meet friends. But when you go abroad, you really only have a few months to live and meet with those people, and that's such like I can't imagine my time in these countries because while the places that you go to are amazing, like it's just as much about the people that you're going to meet while abroad. Luckily, my freshman year when I went abroad, I lived with the student activities coordinator from my college, and he was amazing. So he was always throwing his events. So I got to meet so many people through him because he knew so many people. But then my junior year last year when I was in Sydney, that was different. Like I was just by myself there, and I was rooming by myself. I didn't have these roommates to connect with, and it sort of forced me to step outside of my comfort zone a little bit, like say yes to activities I didn't usually go to, and that made all the difference. I made a bunch of different groups of friends, and it really fulfilled my time there. So definitely recommend being outgoing and sort of distancing. Another part is like distancing yourself from back home. So while I'm sure your family and your parents and everyone wants to hear about your trip and everything, it doesn't need to be an everyday thing. I had these amazing times, like sort of becoming independent. So I'm from a really small high school, for instance, and I grew up in like a rural area, and then going from that to one semester of college and then straight into the middle of London was just like it shook my world. But I came back a completely different person, and I wouldn't have been able to pick up on all that had I been more secluded. So that's the main thing.
The last question is for Abby. Did you make any friends abroad? If so, are you still in contact with them?
While I was in London, I met so many different people from all around the world, and I made different connections with everyone, and I'm still in contact with pretty much 95% of the people that I became friends with while I was studying abroad. I met many people through, and I also have a place to stay anywhere I go around the world between Singapore, Lithuania to Hawaii. And it's just amazing to be able to meet people from everywhere and talk about like your experience back at home, and then basically trying to figure out like a new culture together. So it's just like cool to bring people together, as well as just meeting people in general. Like I talked to, for instance, I was walking to a bus stop to get into central London, and this woman was walking with me, but one of the bus stops was closed, so we had to walk to the next one, which was like a couple of blocks down. So we were walking together. She's just telling me her entire life story. She was telling me how she was raised in Paris, and she studied abroad in London, which was PhD, and she met her husband, and she moved here, and she like has been like been in London ever since. So I feel like there's those kind of connections like that are really important when you study abroad, and that like I will always remember that story. I will always remember people.
I'm just going to chime in on that. So not only do you have personal connections, but you can also make professional connections. So like I said, I did the international internship in Dublin. So I worked with a company called Cystic Fibrosis Ireland, which was a nonprofit. And not only was that resume experience, but I'm still in contact with some of the people that I work with there. We chat once a year. I always talk about coming back there. Eventually I'll make it there. But again, you're going to make professional connections as well, which is just great for your professional career and really your personal enhancement. We were originally slotted to do 37 minutes today, so we don't have any more questions for the GAs, but if any of you have questions for us,
question so much as a comment. I know you've got a small audience here, but what you've said has been incredibly valuable, and I really appreciate the fact that you had those experiences and you're willing to share them with everyone else. Studying abroad or being an international student, in my opinion, is one of the best gifts you can give yourself. I did it twice as a study abroad student and then as an international student, and I know how transformative it is. So thank you for sharing your wisdom with us. I really appreciate it.
Didn't you say later that you would talk more about how to apply? I thought a little bit about the Antarctica program. How would you go about doing the Antarctica program?
Now that we have some time, I actually can show you our website if you'd like. So our website is brockport.edu/studyabroad. You can also get to it from the Brockport page. Once you get to our study abroad page, it's very easy to navigate. Usually you would just go to search programs in order to find one. You can also go to advanced search, so say you have a specific major and you're not seeing it on that page, or you're a sophomore but you want to study abroad as a junior, the advanced search is going to help you with all of that. So let's say Antarctica. You can type that in and then search, and it's going to bring you right to that program. Again, this runs every winter. For this winter, it's actually, the application is closed because we do have a fall seminar that runs as well. So students would get 6 credits for this program. They would get 3 for that fall seminar that they would take during the fall 2019 semester. And then they would go on about a 3-week excursion in December to Antarctica. They'd start in Argentina and then they'd take that boat south. But in order to apply, if this application was open, there would be an apply now button right here. For our Antarctica program, you would need an official academic transcript, which you can get from Registration and Records at Raycott Hall. If you've studied abroad at another university, you would also need that transcript as well. And then you would need a study statement, which is just a 1-page statement about why you want to go abroad. Maybe it was because these guys influenced you to study abroad. But for our winter programs, there are less requirements. If you were going to study abroad during the semester at a university, you might also need 2 letters of recommendation from either professors or employers, advisors, and then you might also need a resume and cover letter if you were going to do an internship abroad. Does that answer your question?
Yeah, I think so.
Program pages as well, they'd have the dates for the program, they would have the GPA requirement, a little bit about the program and who you can contact. Again, you can come to our office as well. It will have the proposed budget sheet from last year. It'll have what that budget includes and what it does not include, so what you can expect to pay out of pocket and what financially it may cover for you. And then we have the courses. So for this one, again, it's just that fall semester and then actually going to Antarctica. And then we have the proposed dates. So a little bit of the programs are a little bit different as well. Yeah.
Why this one is very expensive compared to others?
So Antarctica is one, again, you're getting more credits during that winter program, so it's not just that 3-week program during the winter semester, it's also the classes that you're taking. It is pretty expensive to get down to Antarctica. You will find that for some countries such as England or Australia, just because of conversion or how expensive it is to get there, it just might be that the price is a little bit higher. We do have more affordable winter programs. A lot of those are still open as well, so most of our winter programs won't close their deadline until about September, so you can still have time to look into that. And some of those could be as cheap as $3,000 instead of $12,000, and that's just based off of where they're geographically located and what's included. Did you have another question as well?
Yeah, I think so. Would those credits be good for a criminal justice and political science major?
So what we suggest whenever you're looking to study abroad is to speak with your academic advisor. So whoever your academic advisor for criminal justice would be, you would bring them to the study abroad page. Sometimes we do have a syllabus located on here so that you could show them what the program is all about and what those credits would go towards. And then they're going to determine whether or not that could count for specific courses for you. Any other questions? Yep. tasting out in the Union Mall in front of Union. So she probably brought back her love of tea from being in England for so long. Does anybody else know anybody else contribute to that? Maybe you incorporated the culture, or you saw it here when you were seeing it before?
I was always obsessed with French culture, so like being in France, like I think I got to like finally actually be there and actually like participate in that culture. But then when I came back, like I still talk about my friends with French bread, and like I read the French news and I try to read it in French. So I think that like your time with people come back with you, and like they always like have a tie to that place. And then also you're just like more important to be aware of it all. Like I just feel like once you go abroad, like you have been in a space and you've been that person in a foreign space, so you have a more understanding of like international students, and like you just have a more global perspective overall.
How would you say that your study abroad experience has shaped who you are academically, and maybe has changed or continued with your career? Before studying abroad, I definitely not talk a lot in classes, and I definitely wasn't very outgoing as a person. But coming back and being able to just kind of jump into the culture and have to force myself to be able to make friends, definitely has changed me as a person. So now I realize that when I come back to classes, I talk more and build language more, which is something I need to learn to do.
I was looking for Chris.
Yeah.
So you went on a shorter term program. Did you eventually want to do a longer program because you got married?
Oh yeah, absolutely. No, like kind of like what I heard. That's like a really good saying. Is like short-term programs like an appetizer, and long-term programs like the entree. And that actually kind of influenced me to do the 8-week internship in Sullivan Island this summer. So definitely, I was definitely bit by the travel bug, and you definitely will too. Like if you go on a short-term program, like you'll just get full taste. Like the time will go by, like sometimes it'll just have so much fun that maybe it'll just go by so quickly, and you just want to experience, all of it. You want to experience the full entree. So that's definitely a very big thing.
Thank you all so much for sharing your experiences. What is all ways to learn your experience impacted your career?
Yeah, so I'm not sure about career yet, but I sort of want to take a year off and like sort of figure out what I want to go back to school for, whether that be law school or grad school. And I actually applied for this company last week that's based in Italy, and it's called Bust House. And they take students who studied abroad in Europe who are studying abroad. They put them on trips to either the Alps or like the Mediterranean or Greece or Italy, like all these amazing places that are as a tour guide. And I think really if any job is preparing for it, it's this job and study abroad office or my time spent abroad, because I think you do learn a lot about the culture and the history of Europe when you're over there. It's something that is different than learning it from like a comparative textbook.
Anybody else? Yeah, just to jump off of that, when I was in Paris, I interned and so I was on my resume, and I applied for like a resident in Austin, Texas for like 3 weeks. It's basically like help high school students get ready for like University of Austin. And then I got a call back, and they're like, hey, we've seen that like you interned as a sponsor here, we have like an extra position to offer you, like so you can take pictures for us here. So I just think that like having that extra boost, and, like especially for the internship options, has already helped me. And then also just thinking like now I want to like take a year off and then like either travel or teach abroad, and like it definitely just opened your eyes and like wow, I can go anywhere, I can do anything. And like definitely like once you come like thinking on the back. So I think that like career-wise, now I think it's also like a great option.
You got it. Abby's a sophomore, so she maybe doesn't know that. I definitely didn't know what I wanted to do.
Well, being like a dance major, it was very cool going to London and being able to experience that like that there's dance all around the world, and being able to connect with dancers from different cultures and being able to talk about like it's all basically we do the same things, but like slightly differently. So it was really cool to be able to experience that.
Well, my trip didn't necessarily like steer me in general direction of like my career choice. It's definitely kind of helped me like keep an open mind and like maybe look into certain career choices that I wouldn't look into before. That because I was a little like narrow-minded, like what I want to do, and now I'm kind of a little bit more open-minded, like several more options available. So it's really cool. It helps you keep a very open mind, and that's very important.
Considering how virtually all of the programs require that you have a passport, do you think it would be a good question to ask on how you would obtain a passport?
Definitely. So you can actually get a passport at the local Brockport post office. So they will provide you with a passport application. There is a fee involved, depending on when you're looking to do it. We do suggest doing it sooner rather than later so that you don't have to expedite it and pay extra money. But usually you would need, a long time.
Maybe like 6 weeks, right?
Yeah. You need an official ID.
You can get an expedited passport if you are really crunched on time, but I think it costs an additional $60.
Yeah, but they'll do it all right there for you. They'll actually send the application out for you and take your picture there, and then it'll come in the mail after that. You can also go to a passport office, I believe, in Rochester, and I know Buffalo has one. Some of those you could get it the same day, but it really just depends on the requirements of your trip. Did you have any other questions? Yeah.
What's the deadline for, I guess, the current summer?
So we do have new summer programs.
If you know, there are some possibilities that could still be open for the summer. If you would like to stop into the office in global education on the second floor of Daly and speak with a study abroad advisor, we can sit down and discuss your options.
Okay, are all of the options open right now for summer, or any deadline?
Yes, but there could still be some available. So if that's something you're interested in doing, perhaps you can stop in sometime this week.
Okay.
And we can help get you started.
I have a
Thanks.
list at my desk of all the deadlines that we still have for summer. I just don't have it on me right now. But she's right. There are a few still open. We do have a lot of fall programs still open, and most of our winter programs as well. And we
Okay.
actually have applications open for spring 2020 as well. So if you don't want to go in the upcoming semester, spring 2020 is an option.
Okay.
Any other questions, guys? Thank you for being here. Again, if you have anything that we need to sign, you can come down, or if you want to ask these guys specific questions, that would be great. Thank you.
I'm currently at the Poster Palooza. I saw one of my old professors here on campus. Took a selfie with him and a presenter for Scholars Day. I saw some nice posters, and I'm doing well. I'm happy, having a good time. There's a lot of Best Poster nominees. Sundials. The luncheon was here earlier.
Researchers.
I don't know. We thought he was like
Me before you?
Yes.
Would it be possible to find the movie at the library?
I don't know. That's a good question. We got it from a professor on campus, so I'm not sure about that.
Professor on campus? I'm assuming one of my current professors. I'm taking Intro to Disability Studies.
We got it from Dr. Snideteki.
Oh, that's not my professor. Well, I'm very glad you did this poster.
Yeah? Good discussion.
I wish I could vote for best poster. I would maybe choose this one.
Thank you. Thank you.
You have a nice day.
You too, thank you.
You're welcome.
Trust me.